It's been a while since we've seen any action from Aprilia in the scooter space, but in what is perhaps the most unusual way ever, the company has silently rolled out the SR175, which replaces the SR160 in the lineup. And just to emphasize how unusual the rollout of the SR175 was, as of the recording of this video at the end of July, the SR175 still hasn't been launched, but the company has started deliveries on a small scale. And one of those new customers has given us his brand new scooter for a review. As you can see, Aprilia hasn't done much to the design of the SR175 to differentiate it from the 160 except for the new colors on offer. That's not a bad thing because even though this design is quite old now, except for the small refresh we saw in 2022, the SR lineup's design hasn't really changed ever since it came out in 2016. This is still a striking, sporty and catchy thing out on the road, especially in this new gloss white shade. There's also a purple and red shade. Both of these colors on the SR have been borrowed from the bigger RS457. While the addition of a TFT display is certainly a nice touch, Aprilia should have done more to spruce up the features list. Basic hygiene features such as a multi-function ignition key slot, a brake lock clasp, an external fuel filler lid, start-stop tech and even a silent start are missing. And then there's also the fact that our scooter doesn't seem to have a side stand cutoff feature. The thing is, the brochure that we've received from a dealer shows the side stand symbol on the TFT dash, but our scooter has never once displayed that symbol in our time with it. See this. We'll have to wait for Aprilia to officially launch this scooter and then confirm whether it actually has this feature or not. One of the biggest reasons people go for something like the Aprilia SR175 instead of a conventional scooter is because of how much fun these things are to ride. For this year, Aprilia enlarged the SR160's engine to create this new motor that displaces about 174cc. Power and torque have also seen a jump up from the SR160, and this engine is energetic and effortless from the word go. You can easily cruise at 80 to 90 km per hour and you can even cross a speedo indicated 100 km per hour given you have enough room to go. In our tests, it was no surprise that the SR175 edged out the earlier SR160, but what was quite impressive is that in the sprint to 0 to 60 kph, the SR stayed neck and neck with the Yamaha Aerox 155. Of course, after 60 kph, the more powerful Yamaha did edge out the SR, but that is still commendable performance given that this is still an air-cooled 3-valve simpler architecture engine. In our standard testing conditions, we also got good fuel economy numbers from the SR175. Of course, do bear in mind that if you're going to ride with a throttle like this a lot of the time, the fuel economy is going to take a serious hit. Another strong factor to get the SR175 would be its fun and sure-footed handling. You see, the SR has always been one of the few scooters at this end of the market to come with 14-inch wheels at both ends. And the rock-solid stability that these wheels give you is almost like that of a motorcycle. The SR175's braking is also very similar to that of a motorcycle, in that the front brake handles the majority of the stopping duties and the rear brake is mainly there to give you stability. This is one of the best front brakes on any Indian-made scooter, and it's nice to see a single-channel ABS over here that gives you that added net of safety, especially out in the monsoon. However, the system can be a little bit intrusive if you clamp down on the brake lever a little too suddenly. While the primary job of the SR175 is to plaster a smile on your face, since this is a scooter, it will from time to time be expected to handle the mundane grind of daily life. And in that regard, sporty and focused scooters like the SR have never really fared well, and to some extent that is still the case here. However, it's not all bad and the SR175 is not as single-minded as its predecessors. For instance, this handlebar when going from lock to lock doesn't foul with my knees, and what was an even bigger surprise was the suspension comfort. Sure, this is still a taut setup, but it doesn't feel harsh or downright jarring like the Yamaha Aerox can on our roads. However, some gripes from before still continue. This split seat, while it looks very cool, it is sloped downwards, so from time to time you will slowly slide at the front and you'll have to reposition yourself, which can get a little bit tiring. As you can see, my feet have barely any room although I do wear size 13 shoes, so that is a bit of a personal complaint. Then there is also the fact that the 14-inch wheel eats into the boot space, and the boot space on the SR 175 is really small. You'll struggle to get even an Indian-made half-face helmet in there. As I'm sure you can surmise by now, the SR 175 is a perceivable improvement in almost every aspect over its predecessor. And the cherry atop this cake is that it packs in very similar pricing. It's priced virtually the same as the top SR 160 from before. It's 1.26 lakh rupees ex-showroom Mumbai, and that puts it in a class of its own, because its closest rival, the Yamaha Aerox, now costs above 1.5 lakh rupees. There are some very big reasons why you'd get tempted by the SR 175. These lovely Italian looks, its strong and punchy performance, its sure-footed and energetic handling, and features like a TFT display are valuable. However, there are still some gripes, and those boil down to the company rather than the product. You see, Aprilia has a small dealer network across the country, and its service experience is known to be not as straightforward as the other brands. However, as a fun-to-ride scooter on a regular basis, this SR 175 marries fun and practicality wonderfully.